everyone? It's Chainsaw Goose 12 here, back again with another review today. And today, here it is, everybody. Metallica's Master of Puppets album review. Some people say that this album is the greatest metal album of all time. Or some people say it's in the top 5 or top 10, top 3. A lot of people consider this to be the top of the list. The album that every metal album wants to be is Master of Puppets level. Something like that, of that nature, really. But, as I always say, guys, you're going to comment down below and you're going to personally tell me what you would rate this album, because I'm not going to rate it, because knowing me, I would rate it a perfect 10 out of 10. But I'm not going to do that, because that's just not right, because Metallica is my favorite band, and I'm not going to rate, the album of their career. I just can't do that. I'm not going to rate any of the Metallica albums. So anyways, back into this. So, if I stumble along the way like I've stumbled a little bit in the beginning, it is what it is. Because this album defines Metallica. And I've said this before. Kill 'Em All defined Metallica in 1983. Ride the Lightning paved the way unto what Metallica is today. But Master of Puppets, besides it being the last album featuring Cliff Burton on the bass guitar, is the album that changed Metallica forever. And also it changed metal. It flipped metal on its head. Metal was just like, oh, cool, awesome. Like, oh, Kill 'Em All, okay. Ride the Lightning, okay. And then as soon as Master of Puppets hit, whoa! Because Master of Puppets paved the way for everything. Now, Kill 'Em All paved the way for thrash. Ride the Lightning paved the way for metal to expand more, the thrash element to expand out of that just complete heaviness and start doing more melodic, harmonizing stuff. In that esque of, if you want to go down that route, is your opinion. But, of course, this is my opinion. But the way I see it is Master of Puppets, I think, redefined thrash in what it was in its current state, and it also redefined the band, it redefined its fans, it redefined everything, because Master of Puppets is Metallica's heaviest album, probably not the heaviest, probably the most loved album. Maybe not. But, of course, this is my opinion. So, we're going to look at it this way. Kill 'Em All was the start of Metallica. The thrash, the start of the band, the way that the band wanted to go. That's the route they were going down. Ride the Lightning took it a step further. They went down that path, and they rose up more. Added more harmonizing, more melodic type stuff in their music. Added a variety. Instead of thrash, they had the heavier style. What Master of Puppets did, because from Kill 'Em All to Ride the Lightning, from what Master of Puppets did from those two albums, blew those albums out of the water, because Master of Puppets had the sound, it had the quality, and it had the musicianship from Metallica. It had everything that Metallica is on this record. If you love Metallica for its heaviness, if you love Metallica for its thrash, if you love Metallica for its melodies, you love Metallica for vocals, you love Metallica for the solos, you love Metallica for the instrumentals, you love Metallica for the drumming, you love Metallica for bass, anything that you like or love from Metallica, guess what? It's on this record. And I know I'm kind of speaking kind of weird, or I don't want to get overly excited, because Master of Puppets, in my opinion, is my favorite Metallica album. It switches off. Yeah, I'll listen to an album, here and there, different, thinking, I love this album more. But when I really come down and really think about, when I sit down and go, okay, what album from Metallica is my favorite? And I always have to say Master of Puppets, because that's the album that redefined my thoughts on the band. Because, yeah, I discovered the band years before I really sat down and really went through the discography and learned the changes of, okay, we're at Kill 'Em All, okay, here's Ride the Lightning, like, oh, they went up this change, and then, okay, here's Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, like, whoa! A lot of people say, yeah, it's not really a change, but it's more of a, Master of Puppets had the raw, the thrashness. It had the melodies, it had the harmonizing bits, it had every little thing. Basically, it was Ride the Lightning 2.0, but better. It had better production quality, had better songwriting. It just had every little thing was tweaked from Ride the Lightning and made better. So we have Battery. It starts off with a really melodic, clean guitar riff, and then we get off into the actual dropping in your face battery riff. The battery riff, as everybody knows what it's called. And you listen for 5 minutes straight of a thrash song that is relentless. It doesn't stop. It keeps on moving, and you just can't help but just go, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, it's Battery. You know, you're screaming the words Battery to your stereo or your car, wherever you're listening to it, because the song pumps you up. It's getting you ready for what you're about to go through, because what you're about to go through is some crazy crap. You're about to just get hit with just 8 tracks of relentless Metallica. That's what you're going to get hit with, and that's what Battery starts you off with. It gets you ready for the rest of the album. Now we go off into the title track, Master of Puppets. That gives you a relentless force of a classic, true Metallica song, and it's probably the best known and probably the favorite Metallica album, or Metallica song, really. Sorry about that. But yeah, Metallica album too. But Master Puppets, the song, I think, made the band more of a metal band. I mean, you could say that, well, okay, well, if that song makes them a metal band, well, then that means that the Call of Cthulhu makes them better musicianship, sure, you know, whatever. But I think Master of Puppets made the crowd and their audience just go, wow. Like, the time signature for this song was just weird, but you couldn't even tell it was weird. The time signature on this song is not 4/4 time. It's a weird time signature, but yet you can't. And just like that type of writing right there, let alone when you listen to this track, it's just like, wow. The middle section is just unbelievable. The James Hetfield solo in the middle section is just amazing. It's just surprisingly how good of a solo player he is. And he claims he's not, but you can't argue with that. But then we go off into the classic Kirk Hammett solo from Master of Puppets that really stood out. Just the lyrical content on that song was just talking about drugs and how it can control you. That is a standpoint that Metallica made, and I'm so glad that that song caught on so well. It's amazing. It's an amazing thrash song. The thing that should not be, it's talking about Cthulhu, or Cthulhu if you're a Metallica fan, but Cthulhu is a monster, a being, a god, whatever you want to call it. But it talks about the thing that should not be. And this was mainly based around Cliff Burton's idea, and because him and Kirk were in a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, which wrote about Cthulhu. And so the thing that should not be was, it's a heavy, heavy song. It's heavy. It's not fast or thrash. It's a heavy song. And I think it goes well with the first 2 tracks being fast-paced. Then we slow it down with a heavy song. It's got a really eerie intro, some really great vocal work and lyrical content from James on this song. And the solo is really dark-sounding. Like, the song is just completely dark. It's really suspenseful. You don't know how darker it can get, and it keeps on getting darker. The song is just complete darkness. It is so evil-sounding. So we go off into, after that, the dark song. After we finish off with being two fast, thrash, heavy songs to a heavy, heavy song, slow-paced, we go off into the ballad, Welcome Home Sanitarium, with a classical opening clean riff from James Hetfield that sounds beautiful, in a sense, because that riff is so simple, yet it's so effective, it's so powerful. So I think that's one thing that I really do enjoy from James Hetfield. You can write really simple riffs, and if you can make it sound powerful, there you go. There you have it. That's all you can really say. Because a lot of people say, well, Metallica, they're good, but they're not that good because they don't write really technical riffs. Well, with them, they're not really that technical, you could really say, but when that riff kicks in, and it's so simple to play, it took me like 10 minutes to learn the opening clean riff. Wow. It sounds so powerful, and it's so easy to play. So that's what I really did enjoy about this ballad, is because the song structure is so easy to follow, but it's so powerful at the same time, just having the lyrical content and having this song just building up to the second half, which is going to be fast and just blistering and just hitting you. Then we go off into Disposable Heroes, which is a really fast track. Like, this is like the Trapped Under Ice of Master Puppets. Trapped Under Ice, which we know is probably it's considered, you know, probably the fastest song on Ride the Lightning. I mean, you know, we could say Fire, 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 but Trap Thunder Ice get that consistency of that speed through the whole verses. I'd have to say Disposable Heroes is basically the Trap Thunder Ice of Master of Puppets, minusing the heavy thrash songs. Like, we're talking about just complete fast. Disposable Heroes, really good stuff. It feels like the song just... some people say, yeah, it's kind of repetitive, it's a really long song, but I really do enjoy it, and I don't really think of repetitiveness because the song just really spoke out. It really stood out among the other tracks because it had something to deliver, an important message it had to deliver. James was trying to deliver to you, and I got the message, and I really understood what he was talking about. So I really did enjoy Disposable Heroes, a great, great track. Then we go off into Leper Messiah, which is, it's kind of a hit and miss. More people say it's, people say, oh, I love it. Leper Messiah is just a track that, like I said, you either enjoy it or you don't. But it speaks good. And a lot of people say the whole controversy with this song is that a riff in the song Dave Mustaine wrote, and he apparently claimed at some point that he did, but I don't know where that story went because, as we all know, the Big Four, Mustaine and Hetfield and Lars and all them, they're good. All of them are good and they're fine, but the whole issue was Leper Messiah. There was a riff in there that Dave Mustaine apparently wrote and they stole, but I don't believe that. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But Leper Messiah, it's a hit and miss. It's more of a catchy, heavy song. It's basically like a thing that should not be, just a little faster, but not fast enough to be considered a thrash heavy song. It's just really, it's kind of like groovy, kind of heavy type stuff like that. So it doesn't really fit anywhere. It's like I can't really compare it to another song on the album, except the only thing it really resembles, like to the closest I can get, is probably the thing that should not be. But Leper Messiah, I do enjoy that track. It's really just a groovy song. And it's got some cool riffs in it, so I'm really glad they put it on the record. It actually fits in with the spot they're in. So we go on to Orion, which is Cliff Burton's song. Another instrumental, the second instrumental from the full band playing, and Orion just stood out to me. Like, this is, a lot of people say that this is the most favorite instrumental, or the best structured instrumental, or the just best sounding quality of an instrumental, because a lot of people, it says, it's either the Call of Cthulhu or Orion. And I think more people go for Orion, not because it's Cliff Burton's song, so of course we're going to pick that. I think the structure of it is really eerie in the middle. It has that space type feel, that's why it's called Orion. But I really did enjoy the riffs that was in this song. It really just spoke a lot at the time what they were doing musically, because it has some odd sounding riffs, and that's something that Metallica wasn't really doing. It was more of a, you know, the chords here and there, but there were some chords they were playing on that song. It's not really what Metallica was doing. It's just kind of odd chords. I learned how to play the Orion riff that everybody knows, not the middle section, the actual jumping into the song on heavy thrash type riffs. That riff, it has some odd chords, has some odd things in it, so I really did enjoy that. Cliff Burton, top notch in that song. It really showed in the middle section when he was just going crazy all over that bass. And like it just reminds me a lot of the Call of Cthulhu when he went all crazy in the beginning. He just went crazy on the middle section, but it's really a great instrumental. It's probably, like I said, people's favorite instrumental out of all of their instrumentals they've put out. Then we go off into the last track, Damage Inc., which starts off with these bass swells. Now, at the first, when I heard the song, I didn't know what was playing. The swells that were coming in and backing off, then coming in different, and then, you know, harmonizing swells. I wasn't sure what it was, and I had to look it up. Cliff Burton, apparently from what Kirk Hammett said in a book or something, that Cliff Burton put down about 10 or 12 bass tracks harmonizing, and used these a lot of these weird effects on them, and made the swells come in with all these different, like, harmonizing bits each time. And I think that right there was just amazing. That is the way that you do it. That's the weirdness of Cliff Burton, but it's not weird like, oh, that's really creepy. It's awesome, because whoever thought of, okay, we're going to have a thrash song, we're going to end it on a heavy, heavy song. What are we going to do the intro? We just jump into it? Cliff Burton? No. We're going to do some bass swells. Bass swells in it for like a minute. It's just amazing to see that kind of musicianship in Cliff Burton's mind, to really say, okay, this is the ending thrash heavy song. Let's do some bass swells. Let's do something different. Let's, You know, not creep in with just like a hanging guitar note. Let's do something different. And that's what he did. And Damage it just relentless like Battery was in the beginning. It's like the start off of the album is relentless. The end of the album is relentless. It's got some amazing guitar work, a lot of crazy riffs going on, just a lot of everything from that. So it's a great way to end the album. It ends it like Metallica always likes to end their albums, with something epic or something fast and heavy, and just ends it with like blowing your mind. So this album, all in a whole, is we would consider the Metallica album to know about, the Metallica album to love. And so a lot of people would say that Master of Puppets is a little overrated, but in my opinion, I feel like the album stated what Metallica was doing, because they were making these changes. But I feel like this is the album that defines Metallica. It does, because Metallica is and always will be a thrash heavy metal band, if you want to call them now, because people are like, well, load and reload, It doesn't matter. Master of Puppets redefined metal in a lot of ways, and even if you don't believe that, you gotta admit it has, because everybody places it either as the number one most loved, or the best metal album of all time, or top 5, top 10, top 3. It's always in that area. It's always there. So you can't argue with that. So that's the review, guys. Always, you comment down below and give me your rating and your personal favorite songs off the album. And as always, you like the video and you subscribe for more metal videos. And I will see you guys on Tuesday.